All right, let's take a look at degrees to radians and radians to degrees. So if I have something that's already in a degree, a measurement or quantity, I'm pretty comfortable with that. I'm pretty comfortable with 90 degrees, 60 degrees, different measurements like that. Those are pretty usual, pretty normal. That looks good to me. You mean to tell me I have to change it to something with pi's in it? Well, don't freak out about that, because here's the idea. It starts with degrees and I'm switching to radians. Degrees is a D. You're starting with a D, which means your strategy starts with a D. You're just simply going to divide by 180 with pi on top. So you're going to divide by 180 with pi on top. It's kind of like whipped cream with the cherry on top. So if I have 90 degrees, that's easy. I just take and divide, so I go 90 divided by 180, and I put pi on top. And that's all I need to do. Ha, so far, but then I need to reduce. So then 90 divides into 180 twice, so 90 would become a 1, this would become a 2, and I end up with pi over 2 radians is my answer. Now you're going to be writing radians every time. Realistically, you can just write pi over 2. We know you're relating to radians. Next one, 60 over 180, put pi on top. Now, again, you're just reducing. 60 divided by 180 is 3, so that's 1/3, so it's pi over 3. Something that's a little bit more complex would be something like this 330. Well, what is 330 pi over 180? Well, these both divide by 30. That's what you need to see. 330 divides by 30 11 times. 180 divides by 36 times, and we still have pi on top, so it's 11 pi over 6. Strategy, divide by 180 with pi on top. It's that simple. Reduce this fraction. They're going to have things that they both divide by. 10s, 30s, different quantities like that. All right. The second part of this video, we're going to take a look at radians to degrees. So now if we're going the other direction, so we're going to convert from radians now to degrees. Radians starts with R. That means our strategy starts with R. We're going to simply replace pi with 180. So I just take pi and plug in 180 at that spot, and I'm good to go. So right here, 180 over 6, done. That 180 divided by 6 is 30. That's a 30-degree angle. Now some of you might want to go, ooh, look at that, tricky. No, 4, replace with 180 divided by 3. Now don't be a knucklehead and try to multiply 4 times 180. That's not the right move. You want to reduce the 180 and the 3 first. 180 divided by 3 is 60, so we actually just have 4 times 60. That's a 240-degree angle. That's how it's done. Look at this guy. 7 times 180? How could I possibly do that? Well, I'm not going to. It doesn't make any sense. Instead, I'm going to do 180 divided by 3. That's 60, and 7 times 6 is 42. The answer is 420. Strategy for radians to degrees is replace pi with 180 and just reduce. The strategy for degrees to radians is to divide by 180 and put pi on top. So you're either dividing by 180 and put pi on top if you start with degrees, or you're replacing pi with 180 if you're starting with radians.